Ready? You ready?
Let's make this love last till Valentine's. Let's spend this night together. Let this fire burn inside our hearts. Let us soak in all the pleasure. Now that the rain is slowly getting back, we are lost inside our lovelessness. We don't need the world, we just need us. What if we'd stay like this forever? These wine-colored days, summer is gone. Deep, cold velvet nights when we are one. All come together now, soon the sun will melt this love. We could part and never look back. Life will shortly have us falling flat. By the springtime we'll be strangers.
So me and my husband Dave are the co-owners of Such and Such Farm. We have a beautiful baby girl named Lydia, and we have our dog Homie. We also have 2 full-time people out here, Nathan and Johnny, and then we also employ a couple part-time here and there people as well. And then we also have a lot of volunteers that sometimes just want to get away from the city and want to get their hands dirty as well.
These wine-colored days, summer is gone. Deep, cold velvet nights when we are one. All comes together now, let's let this love last till Valentine's. Who knows, it might just last forever. We don't need the world, we just need us. I wish we'd stay like this together. We don't need the world, we just need us. I wish we'd stay like this forever.
Hi, Lindsay. That's Lindsay Lohan. Such and Such Farm is a boutique farm. We offer a lot of things, everything from produce to maple syrup to eggs, milk, and wonderful pasture-raised pork. We have a 42% CSA. We're in 2 different farmers markets, and we also sell to chefs around St. Louis.
Wow! Oh, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Act like you know.
So I never thought I would be a farmer. Before this, I was working at a hair salon as a manager. I was working as a fashion writer for a local magazine. I never thought in a million years he would ever take me out of the city. But my boyfriend at the time, Dave, was looking at some property out here, and he fell in love with this area and wanted to move out here and, well, either break up with them or move out here Green Acres style. And so that's what I did. And then we started homesteading, and turns out we really loved it, and we're actually kind of good at it. And so eventually we quit our full-time jobs and decided to start Such and Such Farm back in 2013.
Act like you know. Act like you know. Here we go, here we go.
We're not the typical crunchy granola farm. By looking around, that is very obvious.
Act like you know. Act like you know. Here we go, here we go.
I think we wanted to bring a little bit of our city life down to the farm. When we lived in the city, we were friends with a lot of graffiti artists and a lot of musicians, and every year there's an event called Paint Louis that my husband Dave is really good friends with the co-creators of that, and that brings in graffiti artists from all over the world, really. And they come in to paint the graffiti wall and sometimes other places around St. Louis in special curated spots. And we just have a love and appreciation of graffiti art, which is why we wanted to incorporate it at the farm. We just want to make the farm really special and brighter and really unique to us. We have 120 acres here at Such and Such Farm. Roughly about 20 of those acres are for our pasture-raised pigs. We have our goats on about 5 acres. We have a 2-acre market garden. And then we live on about 10 acres. And the rest of it is all for hay fields and the natural woods. So we're looking to offer agritourism at the farm. We love to open up the farm to the general public. We're building a Airbnb cabin. We have a swimming hole that's beautiful and perfect for private camping or backyard barbecues or swimming. We love to do some greater events too, like big farm dinners, weddings. We just want to open up the farm to more people that way. My husband also has a metal fabrication business out here. He's a very talented welder and has some very, very talented friends as well. We didn't really get into farming to make a living. We got into farming to make a life. And so that extra supplemental income of the metal fabrication is really, really helpful, especially in winter time. The animals we have at the farm are chickens, dairy goats, and pasture-raised pigs. And we have a couple little pet projects too. So we raise chickens for egg production. We have Marans, olive eggers, Americanas, black Australorps. Basically, we want to raise chickens to have the most beautiful colored eggs and make it really fun and exciting for our customers at the farmers market. They lay everything from the dark chocolate brown eggs to olive green, blue, green, sometimes speckled, pinkish, and purple. We have 10 dairy goats, and they all have wonderful names, everything from Elizabeth Taylor, Judy Garland, Marilyn Monroe, and we have them just for dairy purposes. We hand milk them twice a day, and I also sell the raw milk, and I make soap with it. We make cheese, we make cajeta. We have Nubians, Alpines, and Saanens, and also kind of a mix of all three, and we just wanted to have the best goat's milk we could with a really high butter fat, and then also the most hardy goat that we could find too. In Missouri, we have, summers that get up to 100 degrees, and then we have winters that get below freezing, so we needed something really hardy and sturdy. They're all so personable, and they all have different personalities. They're really fun, really playful. They can get really ornery, they're really, really smart, but my favorite is interacting with them on the milk stand. It's a really close, personal connection with them, and that's when I feel like just a kinship and a fellowship with them. The pigs that we raise up in our pasture are a really interesting breed. They're called an Iowa Suian Hall. It's half Russian wild boar and half Chinese Michonne. So that means they can be really, really tough sometimes. They are really, I would say, strong-willed mama sows, and they're really protective. But the great thing about that is its own built-in security. We don't have to really worry about predators with them, even though they have really good fencing. When we started looking for a breed of pig to raise, we knew we didn't want something fairly common. A lot of people raise in Berkshires and Durocks and Yorkshires, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we know we wanted something different. The thing with Iowa Suian Halls is, you know, whenever you butcher them, their meat is so beautiful. The marbling, the dark red meat, and then beautiful white flavorful fat. Some people think that it's beef whenever we sell it to them because it's just so beautiful, and that's not something you really see in a store. We wanted something really outstanding and something unique, so we found a pig breeder named Carl Blake, and my husband started working with him in exchange for breeding stock. Right now we have about 10 sows and we have 2 boars. Sows we've had for about 8 years, so they're really part of the family. We've named all of them. We have names like Amy Swinehouse, Pyork, Piggy Azalea, which was actually a wedding gift. We name all of our animals, and people sometimes wonder why we do that, because you'll get attached to them, and that's exactly the point. One very good life, one very bad day. They are giving the biggest sacrifice that they can so we can have some pork and bacon on our table. And so the least we can do is give a crap whenever they die and feel sad about it. And even after 7 years, I still get sad sometimes, but they're giving the ultimate sacrifice, and we appreciate them for that. The piglets are really interesting. We do all of our own farrowing here, and so we get to watch the whole birth process and be with them as much as we can. The piglets always come out in different colors. Sometimes they're all black, sometimes they're black and white striped, but that Russian wild boar comes out a lot when you see a brown and black striped one, because it's like nature's camouflage. As they grow up, they kind of grow out of that color. But whenever you see a piglet on the ground that looks like that, like, oh, that one might be some trouble. They live in wooded pastures, and we rotate them every couple of weeks so they can get on fresh pasture and stay really nice and healthy. So the pasture, when we first made it, it was comprised mostly of cedar trees, so we had to get all of those out. So what's left in there now is a lot of wonderful nut-bearing trees, oaks and hickories, even a couple persimmon trees, so that's a really nice treat for them as well. And we rotate them through, so they're always on fresh pasture. It's called an intensive rotational grazing system. And then we can come back and reseed it with things like clover, rye, oats, sometimes alfalfa as well. So what we feed our pigs is a mixture of hog feed and also spent grain from one of the breweries in St. Louis. We use Urban Chestnut Brewery, and we also get produce from a local produce stand that otherwise they would have thrown in the dumpster, and we pick up daily. So we're helping them out by recycling their produce, and our pigs really love it. Our pigs get so much produce that they're actually really picky about their diet. They love things like watermelons and sweet potatoes, but they hate things like green peppers and green beans for some reason. They get fed so much produce that they're actually picky about what they eat now. They're so spoiled. We grow over 120 different heirloom varieties. We decided to do no-till because honestly it's the most natural, it's the most organic. Nature knows what it's doing, and so we try to help it out but we try not to disturb it or really get in its way. Because we do no-till, that means that the soil kind of has a life of its own. It's healthier and it's also more cost-effective, and it saves us a lot of time as well, that we don't have to go in there every single spring and mess it up when it's perfectly fine on its own, honestly. With our garden at the end of the growing season, we'll usually let everything take a rest. And so then we let everything that's on top of the soil kind of die and decay over the winter time. So then that will kind of feed the soil for the next spring. So then we have a nice bed of dead and decaying plants and roots. And then we can add the compost on top of that and then kind of jumpstart all of the rhizomes and the microbiology in the soil. So it's always a healthy living soil, even in the dead of winter. This year we're adding in a really special compost, which is butcher waste. It has bone meal and blood meal in it, which really grow the best products that we can. To reach our customers, we have 2 different farmers markets, and we also have a 40-person CSA. So our CSA has 10 to 12 pounds of seasonal produce in it, and that usually ranges about like 7 to 8 items, depending on what they are. And then in addition to that, there are 3 to 4 pounds of fresh meat straight from the butcher case. It's not frozen. It's usually like hand cut, or the sausage is handmade like the day before. We also add in a small value-added item from a local producer around St. Louis too. And then we also have an online store, so if people want to purchase our products from all over the nation, they can order soap and summer sausage, pork jerky, other shelf-stable items as well. You can really taste the difference between fresh pork or fresh produce, eggs, milk, whatever it is, because it's so nutrient rich and nutrient dense. It's like you can almost taste the sunshine in the pigs because it is so fresh and healthy. Getting into farming, you don't expect other people to give away all their best secrets. You know, farmers will help you, tell you how to raise like the best tomatoes or grow like the healthiest eggplant. In other parts of the country, I'm not sure if you would find that, but I think here in St. Louis, everybody wants everybody to succeed because we're all stronger together. So at the farmers markets, there's a lot of camaraderie. We're all buying from each other's booths and we all get to know each other's families and kids. So before farming, we had never raised anything more than a dog or grew anything other than a houseplant. In fact, I had an aloe plant and I killed it. So I had no clue how to farm, but I just did a lot of research and I had a lot of mentors. We had mentors for chickens, mentors for the gardens, mentors for goats, mentors for everything. And that's how we were really able to learn as we went and then grow. And then now we can pass that knowledge on to other new farmers, which is really exciting.
Let's make this love last till Valentine's. Let's spend this night together. Let this fire burn inside our hearts. Let us soak in all the pleasure. Now that the rain is slowly pitter-patting, we are lost inside our lover's nest. We don't need the world, we just need us. What if we'd stay like this forever? These wine-colored days, summer is gone. Deep cold velvet nights when we are one. All come together now, soon the sun will melt this love. We could part and never look back. Life will shortly have us falling flat. By the springtime we'll be strangers. Who knows, it might just last forever. We don't need